Welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal channel. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal offered Eberechi Eze a 5-year deal where he could see his salary rise from 100,000 that is earning at Crystal Palace to a whopping 200,000 per week. And the big question, I want you to let me know in the comment box below. Do you think Eberechi Eze can make that jump from Crystal Palace to a bigger club like Arsenal, playing in the Champions League and of course fighting for big silverware? Now, also, Nicholas Jackson has been linked with Arsenal. Now, I don't know why Arsenal are being linked with Nicholas Jackson, and this is the lowest I have seen my club being linked with. Now, listen, I have seen Arsenal being linked with bad players, but for Chelsea to sign a centre forward and try to offload their striker at Arsenal in a season where Arsenal need a top number 9, it would be a disgrace. Talk to me about Nicholas Jackson. I don't want him. I'm not going to lie. I don't want him. I don't rate him any single minute. But talk to me in the comment box below about Nicholas Jackson. We're going to be discussing Nicholas Jackson. We'll be talking about West Ham's Mohamed Kudus because Arsenal and Tottenham are having a fist fight for the player after being convinced a deal can be done below the £85 million release clause that is attached to the player's contract for Premier League Premier League clubs. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Talk to me, Mohamed Kudus. Talk to me in the comment box below. Nicholas Jackson. Talk to me in the comment box below. And then, can Eberechi Eze make that jump? It's a question that I got while I was trying to prepare for this video, and I thought we should talk about it. Now, let's get into it. Of course, according to Team News and Ticks, Arsenal have an agreement on personal terms with Eberechi Eze, and it's a 5-year deal that could see Eberechi Eze jump from the 100,000 he's already earning at Crystal Palace to about 200,000, between 180,000 to 200,000 at Arsenal. Now, this deal depends on two conditions. One, Arsenal want to first sign a centre forward before they progress on to Eberechi Eze. That is the priority. Arsenal have to first sign a centre forward. We are talking to Shesko. We are talking to Hugo Ekitike as I hear now. And of course, we are talking about a centre forward on this video as well. But also, Arsenal will try for Rodrigo first, right? So Eberechi Eze has to be waiting and praying that Arsenal don't sign Rodrigo. Those are the two conditions that matter. But what we know with Andre Bata these days is that as a sporting director, he doesn't agree personal terms with one player. He doesn't talk to one player. So Arsenal are not just sitting there, folding their hands, waiting for Rodrigo to say yes or no. No, that is not Andre Bata's approach. Andre Bata's approach is he waits for players as he talks to others, right? So he's waiting for Rodrigo. Rodrigo is his priority, but he's talking to Eberechi Eze, agreeing personal terms, and understanding and selling the project and understanding the stance of the player in joining Arsenal. I bet Arsenal could do this with a couple of other players until we select one and then sign that one. But I think Rodrigo is a big possibility because the marker today are reporting that any player who wants to leave Real Madrid can be sold, okay? No player that wants out of Real Madrid is going to be held against their will. So if the marker are saying that and Rodrigo is unhappy as reported, then maybe the Rodrigo deal could happen. But if it doesn't happen, then Arsenal are well equipped with a very good equivalent, and that is Eberechi Eze. Now, the question that I've put forward is Eberechi Eze ready to make that jump from Crystal Palace to Arsenal, right? And does he deserve that jump? In terms of deserving, yes. This is a player that has taken Crystal Palace to the Europa League, not by himself. The likes of Ismail Assam, the likes of Munoz have been great players, the likes of Adam Wharton. It's a great team Crystal Palace they have, right? But Eberechi Eze's impact on this team is unbelievable. His quality is unsurmountable. He's such a beautiful player. He's such a quality player. For me, he deserves the jump. He deserves the raise from a Crystal Palace to a club like Arsenal because I can see him as a player that goes to a bigger club and proves that he's actually a very good player. I mean, we saw it with James Maddison. Yes, it was one season. It has been one season so far. But we have seen it with James Maddison. James Maddison comes into Spurs from Leicester City, and all of us were like, yeah, I knew it. The moment James Maddison makes that big jump, he's going to be an important player for such a big club. And I think Eze is that. I think he's psychologically ready. I think his numbers are Arsenal worthy. I think his numbers are Manchester United, Tottenham worthy. They're Newcastle worthy. A team in the Champions League could use a number 10 like Eberechi Eze. In fact, I'm going to make a very surprising opinion here, and I hope it doesn't land me in trouble. I think Eberechi Eze starts for every club in the top 10 apart from Liverpool and Manchester City. I mean, you can shoot me if you want, but in which midfield do Eberechi Eze's numbers don't fit? Apart from Manchester City, that have had Kevin De Bruyne, and now they have Phil Foden, and you could argue that Eberechi Eze could be a more creative player than Phil Foden, although for me, I would take Foden all day. Scores a lot of goals, has a lot of quality as a player. And maybe Chelsea's Cole Palmer. I think maybe he doesn't start over Cole Palmer. There's a question about Cole Palmer maybe. And then Liverpool have signed Florian Wirtz. But apart from those three, he starts at Tottenham, he starts at Arsenal, he starts at Manchester United, he starts at Brighton, he starts anywhere you put him with those numbers. So yes, for me, I think he can do the jump. Of course, to do a jump from Crystal Palace to Arsenal is quite a deep one, right? And many people actually don't consider. There are times when players just make that big jump and it doesn't work out. Daniel Drinkwater from Leicester to Chelsea, it didn't work out. Fabian Delph from Aston Villa to Manchester City, it didn't work out. Jack Rodwell from Everton to City, I think in the early days, it didn't work out. Rossi Buckley, Everton to Chelsea, it didn't work out. So there is a big possibility that a player can have such a very good impact on a smaller team, and then it comes in a bigger team and it doesn't happen, right? And one of those players is actually Nicholas Jackson, right? Nicholas Jackson is one of the players that have had a very good season at Villarreal. Chelsea signed him, and now they're trying to offload him. Now, this is according to Football Insider, and they're saying, right on your screen, it's true. Arsenal plot surprise move for Nicholas Jackson, for Chelsea's Nicholas Jackson, on one key condition. And when you read this article, basically what it says is that the condition is, if Arsenal can't get Šeško and Gyökeres, they might find themselves in a desperate situation where they might look at options available on the market, and Nicholas Jackson is one of them. The only one, and this is not because Arsenal are very much interested. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to rage, but there is something I want you to see. This was written by the Vanguard, right? And they're saying Chelsea are looking to offload Jackson, Madueke, and 8 other players. Now, if you look closely, there are 2 names on that board, right? On your screen. Jackson and Madueke. And both of them have been linked with Arsenal. And I have one simple question. Only one simple question. How come that Chelsea are trying to make Arsenal a dumping site and it is working? Like, how come that every single time Chelsea have a player they can get rid of, they want to get rid of, they would rather get rid of, Arsenal is always available as an option? Willian, we were an option and we took him. William Gallas, we were an option and we took him. Jorginho, we were an option and we took him. Sterling, we were an option and we took him. I want to understand, in which world does a club that is performing better than Chelsea sign Chelsea rejects for survival? Because Noni Madueke, according to Fabrizio, has been discussed internally as an option at Arsenal. Guys, Chelsea have gone in the market and put on the table 100 million plus to sign Gittens and Pedro and João Pedro. And that causes a ripple effect where they've got to offload some players, right? How come that Arsenal are the dumping side for Chelsea? Like, why? Why do Chelsea always think that they can dump their unwanted players at Arsenal? And why does it work all the time? Because you could say, well, Chelsea are trolling. We don't buy unwanted players from Chelsea, but we do buy old unwanted rugs from Chelsea. David Luiz, Jorginho, William Gallas, blah, blah, blah. It is frustrating me. The last one of which, Sterling. It is frustrating. I bet if Sancho was a Chelsea player, he would have signed for Arsenal by now. Nicholas Jackson, thank you. No. Thank you so much. We like the offer. Oh my God, it's a very, very good offer. But this, Chelsea looking to offload into Arsenal? Like, Arsenal should be going for Chelsea's best players. Cole Palmer, Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo. You know, we competed for Moises Caicedo with Chelsea. Remember? We competed for Moises Caicedo with Chelsea. That shows you that these clubs are at the same level. We got Declan Rice, they got Moises Caicedo. We are at the same level and we are even better. Don't dare. And I know Arsenal could do this. I'm not happy because I know Arsenal could do this. I know Arsenal have done this trash before. I know we've gone to Chelsea before and got Peter Cech and he flopped. Douglas Luiz, I don't know if he flopped or he had one good season and he flopped. And we got William Gallas, flopped. We got Jorginho, didn't flop. It was a good dumping side for Chelsea. We got Sterling, absolute stinking fraud of a flop. So Arsenal can do these deals. Arsenal, I won't be surprised if either Madueke or Jackson becomes a big deal at Arsenal. And then at some point in time, you have Arsenal are intensifying their pursuit in Nicholas Jackson. They see him as a Premier League ready striker. There is nowhere in the world Arsenal should fail to agree a deal for either Gyökeres, Ekitike, or Šeško. There is no excuse in the world. We came into this summer with one of the biggest budgets for a centre forward that any Arsenal manager has ever had. Let's see that money get to work. And right about now. Stop. In the last 48 hours, the narrative is changing. It's changing from Arsenal are considering Šeško and Gyökeres only to Arsenal are considering Hugo Ekitike. They like him. And now we're hearing Nicholas Jackson. Before you know it, we're going to be linked with some ramshackle guy that we don't know. And Arsenal are going to do the deal. Please, Arsenal, don't disappoint us. Don't disappoint me. Please don't. Nicholas Jackson, no. Noni Madueke, no. Like Jackson, he's finishing. How better is Jackson's finishing as compared to what we have? Like, if I have Kai Havertz in front of goal and I have Nicholas Jackson in front of goal, you know the difference between the two? Jackson would get to 14 goals quicker and he would stay there. It would take more time for Kai Havertz to get to 14 goals and both of them would stay there. Jesus, obviously, he won't even give you 14 goals, obviously. He might get injured, and even if he doesn't, his quality is like, these lightning flashes that are in space. They just come and disappear and come and disappear. Jackson is not the quality or striker Arsenal need, period. Absolutely, period. Arsenal and Arsenal and Tottenham are trying to negotiate a deal for Mohamed Kudus at West Ham. And they are both believing, and both of them are convinced that a deal can be done for well under the 85 million release clause that is in the player's contract for Premier League clubs. Now, he's got two release clauses, Mohamed Kudus. One is 85 million pounds for Premier League clubs. If you're a Premier League club and you want to sign him, the release clause is 85 million. Tottenham believe that a deal is more doable, and they believe that they can do it under 85 million, maybe for something like 50, 60, or 65 or 70 million. With Arsenal, this heavily depends on Rodrigo. We've got to wait for Rodrigo. But this is the worry I've got with the Rodrigo deal. You might wait for Rodrigo, and then Kudus goes to West Ham. Sorry, Kudus goes to Tottenham. Semenyo, maybe, I'm just saying maybe Semenyo goes to Manchester United. Maybe Manchester United fail to agree a deal with Mbeumo, and Semenyo goes to Manchester United. And then maybe Eze goes to Tottenham because they also want him. And then Mitoma settles down. Now they have sold João Pedro. He becomes not for sale. And then other options that we've been looking at start closing their doors of availability. That's the only scare I have with the Rodrigo deal. It should be happening quick, and we should be getting a resolution. At least we should be getting green light from the player soon. If he has the power, like we are being told, he should be able to tell Madrid, I'm going to leave you this summer. Let me go and find a club that can give us a good proposal, and then we part ways. If that happens, then okay, we can wait. But if that is not even happening at this stage, it worries me. It really worries me. But let's see what you're saying about Nicholas Jackson. And of course, Hugo Ekitike, by the way. And Hugo Ekitike as well.